Hello everyone, and welcome to the first race for tonight. And today we are here and we do have Red Bull Ring, and it is round 1 of CRS. 10 corners around the Red Bull Ring with 3 DRS zones, as you would know if you are a driver. And really tough circuit here tonight, high speed. Yeah, it's a really difficult circuit. You've got elevation and you've got some really tough corners for the drivers to go through. So with the tires, we've got the C3, C2 and C1. That is the hardest tire and the slowest one of the 3. This is the lineup for anyone wondering. We are missing Leonard and we are missing Jacob from McLaren, and from what I can tell, we're missing Aston Martin as well. Just for my knowledge. But we do have a reserve. That is Pancakes. So, my apologies, real quick. So, heading into the game now. We do have the drivers on the outlaps as the intro is finished. So they are heading on the outlap now, as it is really tricky to get temperature in the tires around here. Really important as well, as you have to keep the warmth in the tires up to turn 3. That is a really hard braking zone, so if you don't have the tire temps in the front tires, you're just gonna go straight on and lock your fronts. So I am gonna get some lap data up for you all, and we should be good for a good race tonight. As I can see that Colin is the first man on track. He is heading through turn 1 now. Looks to do quite nicely through there. And a car coming out of the pits, I assume. Being a bit in the way for Colin there, but he does seem to get a decent sector 1 with a 59. So heading into turn 3 now on the exit. Pretty difficult, 3rd gear up, short shift to 4th. We're gonna head into this turn 4. Really difficult. You have to carry the speed with the camper all the way through the corner. And then there is some really nice corners here, high speed, high G-forces, and some really difficult with the track limits as well. So heading into the last corners, 9 and 10, really fast corners here. 7th gear in 9 and 5th in turn 10, and heading up to the line, he's gonna set the first lap of the session, and it is gonna be a 1-4-0, and we have a Haas going into the wall on the exit of turn 10, and he's gonna be out of this qualifying session, and that is very unfortunate for the Haas driver. I don't know how to say that name. My apologies on that front. Kaitek going into P3 with the Alfa Romero going into P2 and Julian into P4. So the Red Bull heading through the last 3 corners now. He's gonna be the next one to finish a lap. He's gonna be on the track limits almost, and he's gonna finish the lap, and it's gonna be a 1:39 for the Red Bull. And we then have Williams just about improving upon the time of Ivan, with Cohen going into a 1:39.0.2. Really nice job by the Williams. And we have a Mercedes Alfa starting a lap behind with a bit of traffic coming up ahead, and that will be very annoying for him, and they will do very nicely to get out of the way for him. So heading down into turn 4, he is gonna have some traffic of the AlphaTauri there. Doesn't get out of the way as he would like, but Luke GDI sets a new fastest lap with a 1:38 on the timing boards. So he's doing really well, as we're watching his teammate now going through these long corners. Really difficult with track limits, really difficult with throttle input as well, as you have to use the throttle to rotate the car through these corners. And into 7th gear, really important to carry the speed throughout all of these corners, and you have to be on the limit of tracks, and he's gonna just about set a 144 for the Mercedes. So we have a Ferrari going slow, might set up for his first lap. So he did invalidate on the exit there, I could tell. So Robert is on medium tires, as we have Henrik now going up into turn 3, finishing out this first sector. We will see if that's a decent sector 1. It does look a bit worse than the other drivers, sector 1, but he might just about try and get a bank 11 to see what pace he has got in the car. So heading into turn 4 now, try and carry the speed with the camper all the way out to the exit. You have to use that curve to rotate the car as well, as traffic gets out of the way. So heading through these corners, you have to carry the speed, and you have to be on the limit of grip at all points. So through 9 and 10 now, he's gonna head. He's going really close to curb and inside, as you would like, and he's gonna go off track, and that's gonna be an invalidated lap from Henrik. Or not. Is it on strict? I actually don't know. That might be my my mistake if it isn't on strict. I would assume it is, as Ray just did an invalidated lap. So he's gonna be pushing on this lap to improve on his invalidated time, I think. We will follow him along, as he isn't pushing anymore. So Robert is still not pushing, he's on the medium tires, so he's using a set of mediums in this session to try and get up to grips with the track. As we have Colin, who is about to start his lap, starting it just about now, so he's gonna head into the first turn now, and he's gonna be on the limit of track, and he's gonna be on the limit on the exit as well, and that's gonna be very close to a spin for Colin here. But he's gonna head up into turn 3 now, and it looks like he's already backed out of the lap with that mistake he made. So we have the Ferrari of Julian. He's now heading through turn 3 up into turn 4 now. So heading into turn 4 now. As I said earlier, you have to carry speed throughout this corner, as you have to nail the exit as well. Really difficult exit, not an easy one to get right, and you have to be closest to the apex and then carry the speed. I don't know anything about these drivers, so that might be put me a bit off for this stream. I apologize. But Julian seems to be driving within his limits, and he seems to put a decent lap together with a 144, putting up into P7 now for the Ferrari. So Colin is now pushing, and he is gonna try and improve on this lap, as he's marginally down on his first lap. But these tires are used now, even though you have just pushed just one sector, they are still a bit used from all the other sectors, but they will be better up into temperature now. He is using all of the track on the left hand side and trying to nail the exit as well. He looks to still be pushing, as we really want to carry the speed through, as I will head on to an onboard cam for Colin here. Really close to the apex, really nailing the exit as well. Heading into turn 9 and then turn 10. Have to carry the speed throughout the corner, and he's going to be put into a 1-4-2, just about below his already set time, but we have the Alpha on a push lap, and he is improving on his current lap. So he's gonna try and improve on the time he's already set. You're heading through the last corner now. Looks to be very settled in that car, and he will go with a 140. That's gonna be enough to just about be behind Colin with 1000. So those two are really close on pace, as the entire top 5 is really close on pace. And Ivan now putting in the fastest lap with a 138.19, and he's I was gonna say rival, but Cohen just absolutely sends that lap out of bounds as he does a 136. So we are now into the 0.6s. I do kind of expect a 0.3, not a 0.3, but a 0.45, as Luke GDI is now heading onto his lap. Looks to be really confident in pace in this car. So he's now gonna head into turn 4. He's gonna brake on the curb, carry the speed through the corner, get a bit of traffic, but he's gonna manage, as he's now heading into the left-hander, into another left-hander, and you really want to see improvements, as he is almost 2 tenths up on this lap alone, and that would definitely put him ahead of Cohen. And heading through turn 9, now through turn 10, he's gonna go up to the line now with a bit of a wobble on the exit. That might lose him a bit of time, but he's gonna go up with a 136. So that wobble on the exit did lose him quite a bit of time, but he is still improving on that time. So he's now up into P2 now on that time. And we have Henrik improving to a 0.9. So he has improved upon the lap he did before. And we have the teammate of Luke GDI now heading on his lap. He's 3 tenths up. He looks to be improving quite a bit, and that's what you want to see, as the track does evolve quite a bit around Austria. Even though the times don't look like they're going down quite a lot, it is a small lap, so you might just about find small margins, and it will gain you a lot, as he does a 0.9, just about ahead of Henrik. So Colin will look to get into the pits and try and see what his time is in the lap, because he was up there in the start, and he hasn't improved on his second lap, so we'll try and improve on his last lap. So Julian has backed out of his lap, and Raid is on a lap. No, he has backed out as well. And was that Robert in the raid? Yes, it was, but he wasn't pushing, so I don't think that matters at all, as we now have all the drivers going into the pits. So Colin, the only driver out on track who is on an out lap. We do have Julian and we do have Ava, but I do think that Julian is gonna push on this lap, so we will stick with him for now. So heading up to the line now, he's gonna start his maybe last lap of the session. No, he does have time to get into the pits if this doesn't work out, but I don't know how many tires he has used just yet. So heading up here into turn 3, he is down on his time, just about over half a tenth down, and he does lose the car on exit, so it doesn't look to be that good of a lap for Julian here, and he does look to back out of the lap. So looks like he's backing out of the lap, as he does. So we will follow Colin now, who is on a push lap, and he will try and move himself up into that provisional pole position. He knows he's got the pace. He was there in the start, and he will now try and see if he can elevate himself from P6 into P1. does look to do quite decently through Sector 2 here. He is almost 3/10 up on his time, and that is a quite big margin to gain. But is it gonna be enough, as he's not gonna head through the last sector, and there isn't much to gain here, only if you really push on the limits of the car and track limits. And will he put himself up into P1? No, he's just about gonna be behind his teammate by 3 thousandths as well. So the top 3 is covered between 13 thousandths of a second. So Colin has done really well to elevate himself into P2, but is it gonna be enough? I don't think so, as the fast drivers will try and improve on their first laps, on the second laps as well. So we have all the drivers now out, as Pancakes is just starting his lap. Doing quite nicely through turn 1. His first lap of the session, because he got disconnected early on, I think, and he's gonna be pushing now to try and elevate himself. And that isn't the best first sector we've seen. You do want to be into the 15.9s at least, but it does depend on whether or not what his setup is. So heading through the cambered corner, and he doesn't have a benchmark, and that is a bit frustrating as a driver, as you do want a benchmark to see where you are. And Colin retiring in the pits, as you would assume, as he has used his last set of tires. So he's gonna head through turn 9 now, and through turn 10 he goes. Pancakes, and what time will he do? He will do a 1:41. Is it gonna be enough for a top 10 start? I don't know, but we do have Alpha on a lap. Oh no, he is backing out of his attempt, and Ivan will now try and push on this lap to see if he can elevate himself from P4 into a provisional pole position. So going through turn 3 and now up into turn 4, he's gonna try and push the margins of the track and the car and the setup as well, as there is AlphaTauri a bit in the way, but does move out the way as he's just about moving up in front. So heading through sector 2 now, he's a 10th up just about, and he might need to gain quite a bit in the last sector here to see if he can get himself higher up on the grid than that. So looks really steady through the last few corners, and is it gonna be enough? No, it isn't. He's gonna lose time, and he's just about behind everyone else. So he's gonna be into P4 if Alpha isn't pushing. He doesn't look to push. He's setting up his lap now, but we do have some drivers proving, as we have with the Alpha here. He's 10th and a bit up, and is he gonna gain a bit more in the last sector? It is a really tricky sector to gain time in, and he's gonna go up and he's gonna get a 0.8 in. And we now have Luke GDI. He is pushing and he is improving, and he does know that he got a bit of time in the last sector because he had a bit of a wobble on the exit. And Cohen puts in a 0.5 as I expected, and a bit of a wobble on the exit for Luke GDI. And is it gonna be enough? No, it's not gonna be enough, as Cohen is on provisional pole, but Ivan isn't pushing. Alpha is pushing. He's gonna try and see if he can put himself up with his teammate. But I don't think anyone is gonna be pushing anymore. Roberts in P14, and Alpha is not gonna be pushing up to the line. Is it gonna be enough? No, it's not gonna be enough, but it is gonna be P4. So it is Williams, Mercedes, Williams, Mercedes, and then a Red Bull. For tonight, we do have both Williams fighting for podium, as well as two Mercedes fighting for podium on the start here. So I am looking forward to the race, as it does look to be a nice one, as we are waiting for someone to get into the pits. So everyone is just gonna be thinking about strategy now, and they do want to see if they can get the correct strategy around here, as it is really important. The undercut is quite powerful. So we have Cohen in P1, Luke GDI behind in P2, Colin P3, Alpha P4 in the Mercedes as well. So Ivan P5, Sierra started when P6, Henrik P7, Raid P8, Julian P9, Mulby 2111 is gonna be P10 running out the points, Bankix P11, Caster P12, Kyotech P13, Robert P14, and I don't know who is P15. So everyone is gonna try and get their setups tuned in for tonight. I'm trying to get the chat up, but I will need to tap out really quick. Apologies, everyone. I am just about gonna get Twitch chat up. I'm sorry about the inconvenience, but it does help me commentate this race, as I will be able to share my opinion with you guys. So just 1 second, everyone. My apologies again for not being ready. So formation lap with Cohen in front. He's on the medium tires. I will just show you what tires everyone is on. So we have Cohen on the mediums, Luke GDI on the hard tires, Colin on mediums, so he will try and get Luke GDI early on, and Alpha is on mediums as well, so they might try and cover off both the Mercedes drivers here, want to cover off every possible strategy. Ivan on mediums, the Alpha is on mediums as well, Henrik is on hards with his teammate right behind him on the mediums. Julian in P9 is on mediums, and the Ferrari pair is splitting strategies as well, and so are the two McLarens. Caster on mediums, Kyotech on mediums, and the only crash of the season as of yet, Iko Steph is on mediums as well in P15, as he didn't use any softs because he crashed. So we will look to get the grid formed here, as I have got a really bad camera angle here. So they are lights on, I can hear the engines being very noisy, and I can hear that the drivers are going now, and I am still waiting for a decent camera angle, and we get it just about at the end of it. So Luke GDI is up the inside, but he is gonna be pushed a bit on the inside curb, and Luke GDI is gonna form in behind, and Alpha is being fought. He's fighting with the Red Bull, and Colin is now gonna lose out to the Red Bull as well. So Ivan is now up into P3 on the start of this race. So his medium tires are fired up, and Cohen is trying to get a gap to Luke behind. As I think someone had a bit of an incident. I am not sure in the midfield. Looks like they are all really close together, as I think Castor and Akistev is side by side. Is it gonna end in tears? No, it's not. It's gonna end with him losing places. But heading on to the leader of the race for now. It is Cohen. He is gonna lead into the first lap, and he is gonna have a 0.9 gap. So he's trying to extend his lead, as you would like to do without the. If you're out of the ice, you just want to get out of the ice. It is really powerful. As I said in the intro, it is 3 DRS zone, so it's really quite a lot. As we have Ikustev into the pits, and Ivan is looking to push and pass Luke GDI. He is pushing. He is trying to get DRS so he can pass and maybe jump into that 1 second window and cover off the DS train. So everyone is within the DS train besides Robert. He is out. He looks to struggle a bit with the rear of the car. But now Cohen is setting the fastest lap of the race. And Ivan will look to get ahead of Luke GDI here. He is gonna have DRS. He is gonna open the DRS. Is he gonna have enough speed to get ahead up into this turn? He's gonna close the DRS and he's gonna stick behind for now. Hello waves, my lovely friend. So Ivan is now gonna try and get ahead into turn 4. He is getting so he is ahead now. He's gonna push and try and get inside of that window of DRS with Cohen, as he does gain quite a bit in the second sector. Into the third sector, is he gonna gain it all back? Is Cohen gonna gain it all back is the question. He isn't, and Cohen is spun into the wall. I did not notice that. He is all the way back down the field now. He's spun out of the lead, and now it is a Red Bull leading. It's just like real life. Red Bull leading and Williams at the rear. That is very unfortunate for Cohen. He was leading, he had the gap, he had the pace, he just didn't want to do a mistake, and then he did it afterwards, unfortunately. But Bankix is gonna look to set on a move on the Ferrari up ahead. He's gonna go for the outside line. They are both on the hard tires, so they do want to go along into this race, as Ferrari gets a bit of a snap on the exit. But he does quite nicely, as the Ferrari pair is now fighting, and he's gonna be pushed a bit wide by his teammate, and Julian is gonna get ahead of his teammate now. He's done really well to get ahead there and still stick in the DRS of the McLaren up ahead. But we do have 2 separate DS trains now because of all the fighting, and Luke GDI is in a prime position now because he's on the hard tires. And he is in P2, but it is difficult to tell, and that is right, he is around and he has spun out of the leading train, and he's now gonna be down at the back, and you don't want to do that, and that is quite an easy spin to make around Austria, as turn 1 is quite difficult. Robert already got a penalty, I don't know what for, and Luke GDI is passing. No, he is not, but Colin does look to pass, but he doesn't get ahead, and Henrik will try and get a move on, but is he gonna get it? No, he is gonna stick in behind. So we do have Mercedes 2-3, and they might want to work together to try and get them into a 1-2, but Bankix and the Ferrari fighting now, as Bankix has fallen behind. Um, I don't know. Might be a bit of a snapper for oversteer and you lose a lot, and he's gonna be overtaken on the start-finish straight, and that is gonna be the Ferrari of Melb 211 into P9, and that is gonna be the Alpha going up ahead, and he's now gonna be leading this train. Lead GDI is just following suit of Ivan up ahead using his paints. Oh yeah. So these two, I don't know, my voice is already going, but they are doing quite well. They both Mercedes here to stick within the DS of the Red Bull up ahead. They will try and just stay within, and they are able to save battery, they're able to save tires because of the help of DRS. Julian is now going out of DRS of the guy ahead, and he's going onto the grass to cool the tires. And is Caster getting overtaken? He is getting overtaken by a Ferrari. Oh, and it is gonna be free wide into turn 1. No, turn 3. My bad. And they're all I don't know what that was, but they are all still alive for now, at least. Let's see. Caster is coming back on to Julian's rear. He is going around the outside. He does get the space, and he is gonna be head into the middle sector. Yeah, I don't know what that was. They were all just and that's a spin, and that's McLaren without a wing, and that's damage, and that's a ruined race, and that's more damage when you drive into the wall. So virtual safety car. Actually, it is a safety car, it looks like. If I just pull up the minimap. Yes, it is a safety car, but it does only show a safety car. I had the same problem yesterday, when it only shows a virtual as you are spectating the race. But it will help out the McLaren of Pancakes, who got caught up with Caster spinning. So he has pitted now, and he will try and get himself a few more points, as he is on fresh tires now. And Kitek did pit onto hard tires. So, as you can tell, there's a safety car out now, and they are gonna circle around. And will anyone up here pit? That is what I'm looking at. Yes, Ivan will pit. Luke GDI won't pit. His teammate will follow him, and Henrik will follow suit. And everyone else behind will follow suit, besides 3 drivers, I think. Yeah, everyone's splitting strategies here. Which does make it a bit difficult, but it is gonna be a strategic race now if there is gonna be another safety car or not, because the mediums will die, definitely in the end. They won't be up to much use. So anyone who's go on mediums now will need to look well after them, and Julian is just about getting out of head of Kitek and Pancakes. So they are all fighting, not fighting, they are all going around now. I am so tired, my bad. So they're all trying to catch the safety car now, was what I wanted to say. So we are waiting for everyone to form up to the grid again, and this does give a chance to anyone who has fallen behind, especially the Williams of the pole man, Cohen. Very unfortunate spin on lap 3 it was, I think. Did very well to keep the gap, and now he is at the back. So safety car might be in this lap, as everyone is now catching up to the safety car. As you can see, the Williams of Cohen just behind, going up the straight, slowly but surely, heading up to the pack now. He is, oh, and almost hitting the rear of Robert into turn 3, and I don't know what Robert was doing. He is keeping quite a big gap up to the car's head, as he is forming the grid now again. So, safety car in this lap, and Luke GDI will be the leading driver, but he will need to do a pit stop again, as the Ferrari of Moby gets a penalty for severe collision. Hopefully it doesn't have any damage from that. Yes, he does. He is missing an end plate, so he does need to pit quite fast, as that is a big loss of front downforce, and he will need to pit, and he will need to do it quite quickly, but he is gonna stay out for now, it looks like. No, he is gonna head for the pits, I think. Yes, as he is pitting and the DDI is going on his restart, and he has gotten the gap to done it behind, and he is now moving into turn 1, cutting the corner as you would like, doing quite nicely with an 8/10 gap now. So the first guys on fresh tires is Ivan. He is in P3, and he is gonna be at the rear of the Alpha ahead, and Henrik is now getting ahead of the Mercedes. So they are fighting, and they are doing it respectfully. So we do have a bit of a train behind the Alpha started here, as he is an OPG, and they won't be as good as fresh hard tires or fresh medium tires, so that's safe. Is he pitting? Yes, he is. And someone didn't notice him pitting, so he got tagged around, and I don't know who that was, but that was very, very, very rude. So Ivan is in P2 now again, and he was leading before, so not again, but he is now trying to catch Luke GDI, but Henrik is gonna go on the attack, and he is on the medium tires, so he will try and see if he can gain a bit on these guys, as Castor has left the session and retired in the pits. So Henrik on the inside, he does have the tire life to do so, and he does have the grip to then get the exit as well. So he is gonna try and catch Luke GDI throughout this middle sector to get the DRS afterwards. Bit of a fight going on at the rear here with Ikusev and the Ferrari of Malp, but they are gonna do nicely, and Henrik is now in the DRS of Luke GDI, as you would assume, as those tires are not going to be fun to drive on, and they will be very slow, and Robert getting a 3-second time penalty at the rear. So we do have one big DRS train now, and Henrik will go for the move into turn 3, I think. Is he gonna go on the inside? He is gonna go on the inside. He's gonna break leg. He is gonna be ahead, and he will push Luke GDI a bit out of the way, and he does get the DRS afterwards. Will Ivan get the move on Luke GDI? He is gonna go for it. He is gonna see if he can get a put a nose on the inside. He is gonna try and make it work. Luke's teammate is lurking just behind, and they are gonna be side by side into turn 5, and that is gonna be a bit of a touch between the 3 of them, as Luke GDI is quite a lot slower than the drivers up ahead, but he's gonna try and stay within the DRS of the driver up ahead, and he is able to do so just for now. Rate getting a penalty, 3 seconds for him, and Henrik is leading the pack now in the Alpha Tauri. GDI is within DRS, but he is gonna struggle to stay within for this lap, as Ivan is going on the attack, as he wants to get clear of the Mercedes, and I understand why. He is trying to get the move done. He is on fresher tires. He is gonna get the exit. He is gonna be ahead, and he will now look to get up to Henrik up in P1, and Colin is now fighting Luke, as he got ahead of Arthur in the other Mercedes, who is on hard tires as well. So Colin is doing really well to get himself elevated into a podium position now, as he does make the move on Luke in the second sector, and Ivan gets within 1 second. Is it gonna be enough? No, he does make a bit of a mistake, I think. Doesn't have DRS for now. Raid is pitting, and that's gonna be a free position for Cohen and everyone behind, and Ivan will look to push to get the DRS now on Henrik up ahead. He is within DRS now, but he is out of ERS, as you can see by the flashing light at the rear of that bowl, and Colin will see that as well, and he will try and put a move on if he is able to catch up to the drivers up ahead. Luke is gonna try and fight his no, he's gonna let his teammate go. I think might be a bit of a team game between the two Mercedes, as the hard tires on Luke's car is gonna be absolutely fried for now, and fastest lap goes to the Alpha of Danet in P14. That's not gonna be a point as of yet, as he's not in the points, and Colin is out of DRS of the guys up ahead, so it is a 2-man race for now, as Alpha behind is within DRS, and Luke GDI is just about staying within DRS. So all drivers are basically within DRS of anyone on track, and Ivan does try and put Henrik offline there, and he does do it a bit, but he doesn't have the ERS. Is he gonna go for the move? No, he isn't. He is gonna close the ERS flap. He is gonna brake early. He's gonna give Henrik the space to go on the racing line, but he doesn't do so. He does feel pressure to go a bit defensive, and Colin is doing really well to stay pretty close, but he isn't close enough of the drivers up ahead. And Alpha behind is putting on pressure on the Williams, and we have Bankix getting tossed around in the rear. I don't know, is he gonna be overtaken on the main straight again? There is gonna be a move on the main straight, and that is gonna be Julian trying to set up a move, but he is gonna push Bankix off, and no space left for him, and Julian is now gonna try and get a move on Luke GDI. Those tires have really died. They are not very useful anymore. He is staying out for the sake of it, if there is another safety car, and Julian is now ahead of the Mercedes, heading into turn 4. Ivan has made a mistake. He is falling out of the DRS of the guy ahead. Doesn't have the ERS to push within as of yet, and Alpha is ahead of Colin. Again, I missed that move because I was focusing behind. But they will try and catch up to the guys up ahead so they can form their own little DS train. Ivan does have quite decent straight line speed, as even without ERS he is gaining on Henrik in a straight line, and he is gonna be within safety car DRS range now, I mean, and Luke GDI trying to get the move done on Julian again, and caution in the last corner. That is gonna be the Ferrari of Malby. He's gonna spin, and he is gonna keep going, and Luke GDI trying to force the McLaren a bit wide offline, but he does have the tires to now go on the inside, and he is gonna be ahead of Luke GDI. Those tires are not happy about the usage on them, so he's gonna struggle. But he's gonna head into the pits now, as he does know that those tires aren't the way to go, and they are not very useful anymore. But up ahead, Henrik is still leading from Ivan down to Arthur. He is trying to catch up to the guys up ahead. Caution into sector 2. That is going to be a Haas off in the gravel. He just doesn't have a good week, does he? He can't seem to get up to grips with the track. But Henrik is holding off Ivan for now. But this is putting in the Mercedes of Arthur into play. And they are now within DS range, both him and Colin. And Malby is retiring in the pits. He is gonna be done with this race. He doesn't want to do it anymore. So they are going on to the straight now. Cohen is pitting. He's coming off the undercut, or he is trying an undercut, because if they don't manage to get the tires to them. So he's pitting. He's gonna get out in P10, I think. No, just about P11. But up ahead, Ivan is just can't seem to get ahead of the guy up ahead, and we do have a fight behind, and that is gonna be Bankis and Julian, and that's now gonna pull Kaitek into play, but he is gonna back out of that move. He doesn't want to DNF, and that is gonna be the Haas without a front wing, and he's gonna move out of the way, off track, and he's now probably gonna go into the pits to retire, I would assume. But Ivan is being pressured to overtake Henrik now. He does seem to try and save his ERS a bit. Yeah, as he retires in the pits, as you would expect him to. But Ivan is staying behind for now. And Arthur is putting on pressure behind for him to overtake. He is gonna get the DRS on exit. I think. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. I think. I'm not sure. But Arthur is gonna try and put a move on the inside of Henrik. Those medium tires are going to be very old, and they are not going to be very useful anymore. They will be on the same pace as the hard tires, but he does keep it ahead of Arthur in the Mercedes. And I would assume that everyone here might need to pit again, as the tires seem to go off quite a bit. So Henrik is now just behind and he doesn't want to go past, so he does close the DRS flap, and Colin is looking for his opportunity to get ahead here. Is Henrik gonna get ahead of Ivan up ahead? Is he gonna go for it? Yes, he does look to go for the move on the inside. He is braking and he is getting ahead, and Luke GDI is now setting the fastest lap of the race, and Alpha is now putting on a move on maybe both Henrik and Ivan. It is gonna be free wide into turn 4, but he is gonna back out at the last second. Henrik is now fighting Ivan. He does have the inside, and that is gonna be Alpha trying to pull off a move, and he is gonna be able to do so. He's now up into P2 ahead of Ivan, so doing really well to get ahead, and he is on the faster tires compared to Henrik, and he does know that he has the pace to get ahead, as Henrik does put a bit of a gap on the straight, but it doesn't concern Alpha a ton because he got the DRS. He knows he got the tire life to push, so got the DRS, and he does have the pace to overtake, but he doesn't want to. He stays behind for now. Ivan is really close on the rear of that Mercedes, as is Collins. They are really close together, all of them. Pancakes is now pitted again. Alpha is trying a move down the inside, but does back out afterwards. No, he is gonna try and move on the inside into turn 5, 6, I think it is. And he is gonna stay behind for now. So Alpha is trying to put pressure on Henrik to go faster. But those tires is completely dead. And they won't be very nice to drive on anymore. And UTDI has done really well to catch up a bit again. And Kaitik does pit from P6. And he is going to be overtaken by everyone behind who has done the undercut. And is Colin going to go for the move? He is going to go for the move into turn 3. He's going to send it down the inside of Ivan, and he does push him off track. I would assume he needs to give that position back. I'm not sure. But Alpha is not trying an overtake on Henrik, and Colin doesn't give the place back for now. So I think there might be a penalty. I am not sure. He did push him off track, but he is now into P3 again. So Colin's done really well to get himself back up here. Henrik is now pitting. Is he gonna go on to medium tires? I would assume he is, or even soft tires. He could easily make soft tires work for that now. Might even be the fastest strategy, you know. So Colin is now P2 and Ivan is now P3, and Alpha is now leading the race, and Julian is P4, moving ahead of Henrik. He is putting on the soft tires. It looks to be first soft tires, and he will try and catch up to the guys up ahead. And Backkicks put the fastest lap of 1:56. He is doing really well for himself, as he didn't really have a lot of time to put off qualifying time, but Colin is sending it down the inside of Alpha and is trying to get the move into sector 2, and all this fighting will just lose them time in the end. So I don't know why they're doing it, but it does give entertainment, and he is gonna be ahead of Collins is. And Julian is out of the race, and that is gonna be a safety car, and that is gonna be perfect for these three. And that is gonna be very unfortunate for Henrik, as he has just pulled the pin and pitted. So I would assume everyone in the top 3 going on to subs, maybe even Luke GDI, going on to sub tires. They are going to be faster, they are going to be the best tires to be on. Maybe even Luke GDI is going to go on to medium tires. He does have a fresh set of mediums, I think. So it is a possibility. Alpha is going on to subs. Ivan on the mediums, Colin onto mediums, so they want mediums. They don't think the softs are gonna last. What about Luke GDI? What tire is he gonna go on? He does look to put on new medium tires, so he doesn't think the softs are gonna hold anyway. And Henrik is now into P3. Up ahead of Ivan on the exit. So this is time for me to get a bit of a briefer on, so I can just about swallow my drink. And Alpha putting on hard tires, I assume that is a mistake. I wouldn't think that you wanted to go into fresh hard tires with 10 laps to go. Colin is leading the race, and Cohen has moved himself up into P7. So he's done really well for himself to pull himself up after his spin. He was P15 on lap 3, and then the safety car came and he was still P14 after that. So he has done really well to get himself up to P7, but he does want to fight for the podium. He does know he has the pace for it, and he does know that he deserves to be on the podium with that pole position up. So they're all slowly warming up the tires as 2 at the back is gonna catch up. Will he pit? No, he won't. He's gonna stay out. So it wasn't a mistake to put on the hard tires. It was a deliberate call. And is it because he doesn't have fresh medium tires? I assume it was even soft tires. So he doesn't think those will last. Robert is on fresh tires. Not fresh, but relatively fresh soft tires. So he's gonna have a easy go at Dan it up ahead. But Dan doesn't have any penalties, so he is in net P8 for now. So I assume it is gonna be in this lap, as it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Yes, safety car in this lap. So Colin is controlling the pace on a fresh set of mediums. He's gonna have 2 soft tire runners behind him, so he just needs to stay within that gap and try and see if he can maybe even stay P1, P2. I think that would be the best call. So warming up his tires a bit more. He is gonna wait for the perfect time to pull the pin and go. He has gone now, I think. Yes, he has pulled the pin, and he is now pulling them over the line, and Robert has now got a new 3-second penalty. Not what you want to see. Henrik is on the rear of Alpha behind. Is gonna try and pull on and move on the Mercedes up ahead, as it is P2 that is important to be in right now. He is gonna send it down the inside of Alpha, and Alpha takes to the off-road. It didn't necessarily get pushed off there, he just didn't think there was space, I think. But he is gonna stay ahead of Ivan. He is on fresh mediums, Ivan, so he is just taking his time. Kajetik is into P5. He's done really well for himself to put himself into that position. He does have Luke GDR behind. He does have Code behind as well. He does have some really fast drivers behind him, and he is losing the front group a bit. So those drivers will try and move, and is Luke GDI gonna try and move into this corner? Is gonna look for it, but he doesn't really pull the pin on the move. And he is now gonna try and get the exit and get the move on this straight maybe. Yes, he does move for the inside line, and he does get a long sign. I assume he is gonna outbrake him as well. Yes, that is gonna be Luke GDI up into P5. Kajetik does fight this back, so he doesn't want to give up the position just yet. He does want to fight for it, and they are now going side by side into turn 3, but Luke GDI is gonna get the better traction. He is gonna be ahead into turn 4. 3/10 is a massive gap to get, and a bit of a touch for back kicks there, and that is a push, and it is towards Cohen, but Cohen does keep the car steady, and he is ahead of Kayatek as well, so he will look to catch up to the guys up ahead, but Henrik hasn't got past Colin yet. He is behind. He might just be biding his time for now, as he knows the soft tires will die off later on. He was out on them for half a lap with pushing, so he was a bit unlucky in that aspect, but he is gonna try and get ahead, and he is now ahead, and he is gonna get traction on exit. Actually, he isn't. He does get a bit of a snap of oversteer, I think. So Colin moving up into P1 again after, but is gonna keep it. Henrik does get a really decent exit. He is ahead for now. He is gonna be ahead of Colin into this corner, but are they side by side into the next one? Yes, they are. And Colin does get pushed wide, and that is gonna be Arthur up ahead, and that's gonna be Ivan up ahead as well. So Colin has now lost out, and is even gonna lose out to Luke GDI as well. No, he isn't. Just about isn't gonna lose out to Luke GDI as well. So Luke GDI has got the work. He is gonna try the move on the main straight, but he is gonna be pushed onto the inside, and he is gonna back out of that, and he has completely butchered the line, and that is gonna be Cohen up ahead now, and Arthur is now trying to make the move stick on Henrik, as those two are fighting, and he is gonna get the exit. He's gonna get the run down to the turn 4. And Henrik will maybe just look to stick within DRS. No, he is gonna put his nose in. No, he isn't. He's gonna stay ahead. But both Williams are just out of the podium now. But back in the midfield, we do have a fight for P9, and that is gonna be Raid and done it. And that's gonna be Raid into the wall, and he should have damage after that touch. I assume he does. That was quite a bit hit, and that is 3 seconds for done it after that. So no damage on the AlphaTauri. Cohen gets a 3 seconds penalty. That is not what he wanted, and he is now being overtaken by Luke GDI on the straight, and there is no fight for the lead in this time around. And the soft tires does seem to die out a bit. Kayatek is being overtaken by back kicks, and he is on the medium tires. So the soft tires are still quite a decent tire. They do stay quite nicely around. They do keep decent pace around here. But they do fall off the cliff at some point when they hit 25% and then 40 afterwards. They do hit a kind of a cliff. Ivan is on the rear of Henrik. He does want to pass now. He does know he got the pace in that Red Bull to get ahead of the sister team car. So Henrik getting the exit here, but is it gonna be good enough? Is Ivan gonna try the move on the straight? He does look to try a move maybe. No, but he does push Henrik to try the move on Arthur again, and Arthur is gonna be pushed wide, and he's gonna lose out to Ivan, and Ivan is now gonna try the move on Henrik, and he is gonna be ahead into the corner, but he is not gonna be ahead at the... Yes, he is gonna be ahead of the exit of the corner. And he will have the inside line, and that is King into that corner, and he is now in the lead. But after being pushed wide 3 times in this race, I think, and that is a spin for Danet behind. So his race is pretty much ruined, and now the lead pair will try and get up ahead as Henrik is ghosted. I don't know what for. I assume he had a bit of contact with someone. That's my assumption. And he's not ghosted within Luke GDI, but he is now unghosted and on the attack on the driver ahead. Luke GDI hasn't made any moves as of yet. Ivan is pulling a decent gap on the drivers behind. And Henrik is now putting on a bit of a push to get it up into the podium position again on Colin. Colin does have decent pace today. He just does seem to do quite consistently, and the rear of the Red Bull flashing. So that is nice to see if you are in Alpha's position. He isn't blinking, so he does have a bit more battery to play with, and he does have the DS as well to recharge the battery faster. But is Colin gonna put on a move for P2? No, he isn't. He is gonna stick behind for now. And Henrik is outbraking himself, and Luke GDI then slips past after that mistake. Henrik does seem to try the move around the outside now, but he does. I don't think he got the grip to do that anymore. But he does seem to try and fight it, but he just about loses it on the exit. So well driven by the two of them. Henrik now down into P5 as he was leading just a few moments before. But time does move fast around here. And Ivan is now being cut up by Alpha behind. And Alpha is putting on the pressure. He does want the race win today, as he did do a decent lap in qualifying. He did put himself in this position by fighting up the field, putting on a set of soft tires that is now the slower tire of the two. But he does have ERS, he does have slipstream, he does have DRS as well. So he is gonna maybe try to move into turn 3. He is gonna try around the outside. Is he gonna get the exit? Yes, he is. He does have the DRS. He doesn't have the DRS. Ivan does have the DRS. He's gonna slot him behind. And Alpha is gonna try to stick on the inside. And that's gonna be a crash. And that's gonna be Collins around on the last lap of the race. And Luke GDI is now into a podium position because of that. So the guy who had it all to fight for after the safety car, after his pit, has pulled it out of the back, and he is now into P3 now. But Alpha has pulled off the move for the leads, and he is now coming across the start-finish straight. He is gonna win the first race of the season in Season 6 of CRS, and that is gonna be Ivan P2, Luke GDI P4, Henrik P3 for Luke GDI, my bad, Henrik P4, Cohen P5, Colin P6 after that unfortunate spin at the end, and Bankic P7, Kyrotic P8. For some reason Colin got DNF'd, but he was P7 after that, P6 after that. That is a game bug. Danet will be P9 after that is fixed, and so on down the grid. I think 4 DNFs in this race. So quite a decent race by all of the lots to put on a bit of entertainment for everyone. But Mercedes does come out on top in this race with 2 drivers on the podium, and that is going to be Alpha, the first winner of the season. He is now the championship leader, with Ivan just behind, Luke GDI just behind him as well. And they are now gotta be spraying that champagne because they will be very happy they won the race today. So going on to this screen, we do have Alpha in P1, Ivan P3, Big GDI P3, Henrik P4, Cohen P5, Bankix will be moved down to P7, Kaitik P8, Danet P9, and Robert Raid P10, and Robert will be outside the points as Colin for some reason DNF'd the last second. And for DNFs, the DNFs are Julian, Isistef, Malp, and Caster, and that will be the race for today, as we do have some interviews to do. So I will try and get the drivers in the interview room, so we can hear what the thoughts were. So I'm gonna move Ivan up first. Actually, I'm gonna move up Alpha first. So we are gonna hear our winner for today's race. Hello, Alpha.
Hello.
So you won the first race of the season, and you really had to fight for that end there. What was the strategy throughout the race, and how did you come out on top?
Yeah, so I think I started P4 or 5 with the medium tires. And for the first 5, 6 laps, I just was tire saving and basically keeping the temperatures right and not overheating the tires. Because once you overheat, then it's GG's. So I kept them in check, and then when the opportunity came, I passed the guys.
Yeah, you really did well to manage the tires there. Your teammate was a bit unlucky with the safety car, but he did get up into P3. And did you guys work together in that first stint because you had the better tires? Did he let you pass, or were you fighting for the position?
No, no, I was fighting for it. I just hoped that he made my life that bit easier, so we could work our way together. But no, we fought this race, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good for entertainment perspective. And you both got a podium this race, so really well done by the both of you. The the overtake on the last lap, I didn't have telemetry up. Did you have a lot of years to spare? Uh,
I had 50 or 60% going to that last lap.
yeah, so you was just saving the last
Yeah,
stint,
yeah.
I assume. Yeah. So Afa, really well done on your win today. Really, really well driven, and congrats for your first win this season. Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, Ivan.
Hello there.
So, you got P2 this race. Uh,
Unfortunately, yes.
yeah, you did do really well the entire race, and you did have the lead, but you kind of lost out on the last lap because of the TS and the no ERS. What was the strategy on the last stint?
When the second safety car appeared, I was just focusing to get the new mediums on the car, just to prevent the soft tires of running away from me. Um, as Colin was controlling the pace on the new mediums, he lost the lead and he became P4, I think, behind me. And I just let the new soft runners do their thing and battle it out on track. And I was just waiting for them to lose the ERS. And that went quite well. I got past them both. But I got a gap on, like, what was it? Lap 34, 2 laps until the
Yeah,
end. And my ERS was completely empty. But I had a gap of 7 or 8 tenths. And I was like, all right, if I'm able to control the pace, I'll get the win. But Afari had some ERS left in the tank I didn't know about. I hoped for that he was completely empty of ERS. Um, but yeah, it was unfortunately not meant to be for me.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But you did do really well, and you did manage the race in the first stint. What was your strategy going on to the first few laps of the race? You did put on a few moves, I noticed.
Yeah, exactly. In the opening stages, I saw, I think it was Afari and Colin battling it out in turn 3 at the first lap. And I saw a gap at the outside of turn 3, and I was like, all right, you guys go the inside, I'll take the outside then. So I overtook them both in one corner, so that was quite nice. I already got into P3. And from there on, I was just controlling the pace until the first safety car came. And I was just, let's go to the hards, and hopefully I'll get it to the end. I was quite managing the tires as well. That was because I was not trying to overtake Henrik on the medium tire, uh, just because I wanted to save my tires until the end. But then, unfortunately, the second safety car came, so all those managing didn't pay out.
Yeah, unfortunately not. It was a really tough race on the strategic side of everything, but yeah, managing the race is always difficult in a race around the Red Bull Ring.
Exactly. Who got the fastest lap at the end?
I'm actually not sure. I think it was maybe Luke GDI. I'm not sure.
It wasn't me,
I,
I
I
think.
I can check after the race, but I'm not sure
All right.
as of right now.
We'll keep that for later. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for streaming. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye. So, Luke GDI doesn't seem to go into the waiting room, but that is completely fine. So we will end the stream here. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's been really lovely to stream for you all, and I will catch you guys maybe next Wednesday. I will see if it's something I want to do again. It is a bit tough to be a solo commentator, but thank you all for stopping by, and appreciate it all. Bye.